Hi Nitin. Hi Abhishek.
Hi,
Hi,
Nidhi.
so nice to see you.
Our batchmate.
निधि
It's the
पहाड़ों
solidarity.
में पहाड़ों में रह
पहाड़ों
के एकदम
थोड़ा
फ्रेश लग रही
नहीं,
है।
तराई में हम रहते हैं,
अच्छा,
पहाड़
तराई
नहीं
में रह रहे हो,
रहते हैं।
सॉरी। हाँ, मतलब ऊपर नहीं, बट थोड़ा नीचे
पहाड़ दिखता है पर हाँ।
पहाड़ दिखता है। वेरी नाइस।
बीच बीच में वैभव फोटो डालता रहता है ना, तो
हाँ
दिखता है।
हाँ,
बिल्कुल।
वेरी
हेलो
नाइस।
अजय जी।
अजय गाड़ी में है अभी।
ठीक है, कैरी ऑन। हाँ, या
सॉरी, गाड़ी में हूँ इसलिए म्यूट पे रह रहा हूँ। कैरी
बिल्कुल
ऑन।
बिल्कुल, सिर्फ हेलो कह रही हूँ।
हाँ हाँ, यस यस यस। ओके, कैरी ऑन प्लीज।
Uh, Hello all. I think it's 5:02. Someone has already, remembered the name of Dr. Korean, so you won't, wait further. Uh, Hello all fellow Irmans. I am Devam. I am from PRM 43. Welcome to our another Irman talk. Uh, as far I think, this is gonna be very valuable and insight talk because so much of experience is gonna be, we're gonna witness today. We welcome Abhishek sir and Nitin Puri sir from PRM 20. And now I like to take this opportunity to ask Abhishek sir to take the hold of the entire meeting.
Thank you, Devam. Thank you for your coordination. You have been a big support for this, and let's start this. So, it's really my pleasure to welcome Nitin Puri for this IRMAN talk. So, Nitin Puri is a PRM 20 batch pass out. He did his engineering from NIT Kurukshetra, and post IRMA, he worked in senior leadership roles in the food and agri sector across companies including ITC, Reliance Retail, MCX, and Yes Bank. So Nitin is very passionate about the power of markets in transforming rural livelihoods at scale. So about after spending like quite some time working in the industry, Nitin started KisaanSay. And within 2 years, KisaanSay has emerged more strongly as India's leading D2C brand, offering a full range of products sourced directly from farmer collectives across India. So now a lot of media news is also there on this initiative, and it's getting covered widely in electronic and print media. We are seeing all that. So today's talk is going to be with Nitin, and we are going to explore his entrepreneurial journey. So welcome Nitin, welcome abroad.
Thank you so much, Abhishek.
Okay. So Nitin, let's start to talk about your from your IRMA days. So let's start talking about your decision to join IRMA. Now, I remember your when you did your MBA, just like mine, it was not just for 2 years, but for 2 centuries and 2 millenniums, right? So this was also a time when Y2K was at a boom, and everybody was talking about getting into software. And you being an engineer, you decided to join IRMA when everybody was going for IT sector.
Correct.
What drove your decision to join IRMA? I'm sure you must be having offers from other good MBA colleges also.
Correct. So, like most other people in my batch, when I was doing my engineering, I also happened to step into the IT industry. And as they say, that was the sunrise moment of the Indian IT industry. And everybody was actually dying to get into a Infosys or a TCS. और होता भी ये था that at point in time, of course, later on this industry became very big. At that point in time, each of these companies would recruit one person, two people, three people, four people per company on campuses. So it was actually a very coveted role and profile, and anybody and everybody in engineering colleges wanted to get into one of these companies. So like many others, I too did the same. But after spending a couple of months, I didn't quite enjoy the task of writing software code in a small room. And I somehow had this strange fascination for stepping outdoors and doing something out in the open. So MBA obviously was one of the choices. MBA is a platform. MBA is a kind of curriculum which gives you eyes and ears and opens your mind, to many more possibilities. So without necessarily having any specific end goal in mind, or without necessarily thinking specifically that after MBA I will do this or that, I just applied to MBA programs, and there were only three places I applied to. IIMs, unfortunately, I did not get shortlisted. XLRI, I was on the unlucky waitlist number 13, which never happened. And I didn't apply to any other institute. I only applied to IRMA as a third institute. There were so many other institutes at that time, and which were also perhaps at that time, presumably better ranked, etc. as well. But somehow I didn't apply to any other institute. So I remember when we got at that point in time, this was the pre-internet era. Many people did not even have an email ID. Many people had not even seen a computer in their lives. So that was a time when you used to get physical brochures when you used to apply to colleges.
Right.
So the IIMs and the XLRI and a couple of other people used to apply to others. I used to see all the brochures used to be in color. And out of some general fluke fascination, I applied to IRMA. IRMA was the only brochure which was black and white.
Okay.
तो मुझे लगा ये black and white है और बाकी रंगीन है, इसमें कुछ तो फर्क है. If the marketing and branding is being done this way, अब वो गलती से कर रहे हैं या by design कर रहे हैं, I was not aware. Plus, it also happened to be, it's a matter of chance, which is actually the main reason, the serious reason why I applied. At that point in time, Economic Times बहुत पढ़ता था मैं. तो Economic Times के editorial piece में Dr. Kurian का एक article आया था. So that
Yeah.
cutout is still with me after 26-27 years. तो उस कटआउट में वो जो ऑपेड था या एडिटोरियल था इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स में, उन्होंने डॉक्टर कुरियन ने he had mentioned lots of things and described lots of things about the white revolution, about
That
how
would be in 1998, right?
1998, 27
Right.
years ago.
Yeah.
And I never knew what is Amul, what is Operation Flood, who is Dr. Kurian. कुछ नहीं पता था. So randomly read this editorial, and there was, somewhere within that editorial there was also a passing reference to IRMA. There is an institute called IRMA which I have set up, this, that, etc. तो वो एक बड़ा ही स्ट्रेंज सा पोएटिक सा फैसिनेशन हुआ कि दिस इज समथिंग दैट इज अपीयरिंग टू बी वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम मेनी ऑफ द अदर इंस्टीट्यूट्स. There must be something interesting about this place, so it is at least worth applying and exploring. Now whether we will get through, whether I will join or not join is another matter. So
Right.
it was as simple as that. There was no research, there was nothing that was done. तो बाकी दोनों ने घास नहीं डाली, IIM और XLRI ने. Unlike, as you said, other institutes, I didn't get to any of the other institutes.
Okay.
This was my plan C after A and B. So this is something that I got to. And then, of course, once we came to the, at that point in time, we used to come to the campus, stay in one of the faculty houses for the, GD
Interview
or
process.
interview, for the interview process. So there was no GD, correct? There was only
Yeah.
interview here. So that the campus, of course, also seemed fascinating. So it was as simple as that, maybe illogical,
Right.
but that was how IRMA happened.
So yeah, no, so I think that's the time when Dr. Kurian moved on from NDDV. So I think that was the time when he would have written that piece.
Correct.
So okay, so let's talk about your MBA journey. How was your MBA learning journey? Let's would you like to share any story which had a very lasting impact on you? I mean, something which you still carry even now.
So I think one of the key incidents which we always remember, many of us in our batch, is when in the second year the campus placements used to be done, and we happened to be a batch where about a dozen of us opted out of campus placements. And we had brought out a brochure where we had also inadvertently, in our innocence, also included the logo of IRMA, saying that this is the brochure of a group of students from IRMA, and this is what our batch profile is and the campus profile, etc. And we had posted these by courier, about 1,000 of them to companies all over India. And one of those companies somehow got back to our campus, to the official channel somehow. And then the IRMA management got to know that something like this is happening, where a full-fledged brochure with lots of things about IRMA is being written. And they took it as some kind of misrepresentation, that you're not supposed to do something where you use the logo and so many details in as many in so much detail in such and such form. It amounts to saying that you are doing this officially, but actually you're doing this unofficially. So some such confusion happened, and because of which then we were pulled up, and this group of us who actually applied for off-campus placements on our own was actually then summoned through a show cause notice. I also have the copy of that show cause notice with me still. That's the only show cause notice I've received ever in my life. So it simply said that you have done activities which are not befitting. As a student of this institute, you have misrepresented, misused the name, logo, this, that, brand, XYZ, and give us a reason why we should not take strict action against you. Strict action essentially means we will tell you to go out of the college, sorry, out of the institute. So us time it was a big, kind of a high pressure,
High stress.
stress time for us because we had spent 2 years studying. We were almost at the fag end. It was almost January, February, and in another 2 months we would be passing out after the sixth trimester. And most of us had still not landed a job in the off-campus group, and neither were we part of the campus placement. So we would go back, in time by 2 years, and that was a real stressful time. And then, we were called for a meeting by Dr. Kurian, where the PRM coordinator was there. And all of us, of course, were almost thinking that, nothing much is going to materialize. And this is something that is going to end up in all of us being thrown out of IRMA. And this is the last final conversation and meeting that is happening here. And of course, because we had interacted with Dr. Kurian more as listeners in various forums, or we knew what kind of a taskmaster he was, there was very little hope that he would do something that would help us. हमें यही लग रहा था कि hard taskmaster हैं और कुछ तो बड़ा वाला
Big action, some
big
big
action,
action.
some big action is going to happen. So with that expectation and no hope at all of something that would help us to salvage the solution, we went to that room, and Dr. Kurian for most of the time kept talking of everything except the subject of discussion. That used to be the habit of Dr. Kurian, about what he did in his lifetime, how he went to Europe and New Zealand and Australia, how they got skim milk powder out of buffalo milk, and how white revolution and this that. और यहाँ हम लोगों की धक 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 हो रही है और वो पता नहीं क्या क्या बातें कर रहे हैं. And towards the last, I think it was a 45 minute conversation or something. In the last 5 minutes, he said, okay, now turning to the to placement coordinator, sorry, not PRM coordinator, placement coordinator. Or his name was Vishwa Ballabh. So there's a slight comedy there as well. So every time he would turn to Vishwa Ballabh, he would say Hari Ballabh. So Mr. Hari Ballabh, तो हो गया Hari Ballabh. After 10 minutes, so Mr. Hari Ballabh, वो बार तुमने सुला दिया, sir, I'm Vishwa Ballabh, not Hari Ballabh. फिर finally कहते, what should we do with these guys? What should we do with these students? तो बल्लभ साहब हमारे ने बोला कि I feel that maybe we can give them a chance. तो थोड़ी देर तक चेहरा देखा विश्व बल्लभ का, and then he started out quoting something from the Bible, where किसी ने किसी के साथ धोखा किया है और आपको ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए, और ये और वो करते 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 somehow that situation of stress slowly started giving us feelers कि कुछ तो लग रहा है कि कुछ तो मन में चल रहा है इनके. There is something in his mind, that is showing us that the direction now is taking a U-turn. And karte karte karte, he came to a point where he said that, provided you guys promise that you will not do something like this ever again, we are ready to forgive you types, give us a letter, give us this, give us that, etc., etc. So this is an incident, which I remember very much. And in the convocation speech as well, when Dr. Kurian was addressing, there used to be the ceremonial speech of Dr. Kurian in every convocation. He mentioned this incident also, and there's a statement that he made that I know there are a couple of you who've gone a different way, meaning to say that some of you who are not sticking in the sector as per the parlance of the sector at that point in time, but I'm sure that like the prodigal son, you will return one day. है ना, तो ये उनका स्टेटमेंट उन्होंने बोला था, which I remember very vividly. So that's the most I would say rememberable or memorable for wrong reasons part of our stay at IRMA.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's his large heart. That how big his heart was. That, and as an institution, we really need to have that type of.
Absolutely, that was a learning as well, which we didn't
Yeah.
realize so much at that point in time.
Mhm.
But over the years, so making a mistake is fine, and there are a lot of people who make mistakes. Some people make
Mhm.
mistakes by design,
Mm.
some by default. Even by design, if you make a mistake, maybe there is a communication gap, maybe
Mhm.
the intent otherwise was not to do, do some wrong or do some wrongdoing. But eventually, if somebody has done a mistake and if he or she is ready to ask pardon for it, and if you are in a position to forgive that person, so that is the true mark of a good leader.
Okay. Yeah. So, just quickly, can you talk about that when you got into your first job at ITC? Maybe, I mean, how did your education at IRMA help you in your first job and subsequent job? I mean, can you share something interesting, just like you shared this story of Dr. Kurian? I mean, is there something you would like to talk about?
Right. So the first job, of course, we opted out of campus placements. I happened to land a job in ITC. ITC at that point in time was not part of campus placements. Of course, a couple of years later they started coming,
Yeah.
to the campus as well. So I was fortunate because ITC Agribusiness Division, Shiv Kumar ji, who was the CEO at that point in time, ITC Agribusiness Division was a very small organization. Literally, there were 40 or 50 managers in the entire company, and ITC at that point was starting the eChopal project and initiative. So ITC Agribusiness Division was literally like a startup within a larger organization. And because we used to work in a very flat organization structure, we got a very nice opportunity to work one-on-one, engage one-on-one with Mr. Shiv Kumar and the entire top management. And the years that I spent in ITC, I would say, were the most enriching in terms of the vertical learning that we had, because you're just fresh out of IRMA, and you're just 23, 24, and you're literally put as the head of a business or a sub organization vertical within the organization at a very young early age. You're expected to take decisions. At the same time, each opal was a new project, so it was almost like starting a new company, literally like setting up new officers, recruiting new teams, setting up a strategy, being involved in the operations hands on. Lots of people in your team were not necessarily people who are out of college. Lots of these people were old timers within ITC. So as a 24-year-old, you were the boss, and you had people in your team who were 40, 45, 50 years old. So, a whole host of complexities and a whole host of uncertainties, and the opportunity to take up responsibility at a very early age.
So the ownership part, the ownership of entire
The
thing.
ownership part. And because, of course, this entire eChopal initiative, which was most of our focus while I was working in the earlier part of ITC, the fieldwork segment and the entire curriculum at IRMA obviously was very helpful, because that really made us think grounds up, made us grounded in terms of our personality, in the way we would talk, engage with people, etc. So that obviously was very helpful. And then the
In fact, I remember your MTS was also something related on similar lines when
my
you
MTS, yes, my
in
MTS was
Banas.
in a yes, my MTS was in Banas Dairy, where we had worked on a e-governance project, which was essentially like putting all the functions of the organization in a tech platform, and also integrating that with the services that were run by the government. Like
Mhm.
now you have the CSCs, Common Service Center
Yeah, yeah,
concept,
yeah.
so an element of Common Service Center and the operational aspects of running the operations of the entire Banas Milk Union, and we
Right.
had to build a tech architecture for that, because I had a background in tech, and my project mate who was also inclined on the tech side, so that's why we adopted for this. And that, of course, was a very interesting project as well, where we were trying to create a tech platform to manage both sides. One was the engagement, interaction, transactions with the the societies and the farmers, and the internal market facing operations of the union as well. So that, of course, also was a good learning, which also
Right.
helped. to sail through the ITC interview. In fact, ITC was also very interesting. When ITC came in for our off-campus placement, this was in a hotel in Baroda, I still remember. So they had come and they came to recruit for the leaf tobacco division, which is the division within ITC which supplies the tobacco leaf to the cigarettes division. So after all the interviews and everything, I was convincing the head of HR who came for the interview that I am not suited for that company, and he was convincing me that I am not suited for that role. And that interview and everything went away. Then about a month later, something happened within ABD, which is the agribusiness division. So this HR had remembered me कि ये बात करी थी हमने, and we had spoken something exactly what you were mentioning about the kind of work that I did in the MTS project. So he then summoned me, and this was around the time that the earthquake happened, if you remember, 26th,
January 25.
26th January.
Yeah.
This was, I think, 27th or 28th January. So he remembered that we had this conversation about the role of IT tech in transforming rural markets, etc. He said we have one management trainee position. We had 4 positions. One guy has come in from IIM Ahmedabad. One guy has come in from IIFT. There is a third person. We are looking for a fourth person. Would you like to consider? I said, why not, sir? So that is how the interview, and then of course going to Hyderabad for the interview and all that. So
Right.
that was also a journey in itself.
Yeah. So let's I think your corporate journey had been quite eventful, but let's now start moving towards your entrepreneurial journey, the KisaanSay, which we are more interested to talk about. Now, when you're, making the transition from manager to entrepreneur is a very common phenomena, which we see in managers in 40s, whenever they are into 40s. After people have spent a couple of decades in corporate world, they move towards this starting something on their own. Was the same for you, or was there something else which drove that decision?
So I never imagined ever in the wildest of my dreams that I would ever become an entrepreneur. मैं हमेशा यही सोचता था that I would be a 9 to 5 guy, I would be in a job, and I was never as a personality type, I was never the risk taking type. I was always risk averse. I was always walking in a particular direction and doing things academically or at work the way they are to be done without looking left or right. So that was my personality type. So I never thought of this. But fortunately, when COVID happened, COVID gave all of us a lot of free time to think, because a lot of us were at home. Of course, we were doing our regular jobs at office. We were spending less time traveling on the road, spending more time with family at home. So I think around 2021, that was the time where I started thinking that given the kind of experience that I had acquired working with consumer facing roles, say in companies like Reliance Retail or ITC, operations roles, working in a commodity setup, working in a bank in the food and agri project finance role. So I had a very good 360-degree overview of the food and agri industry. And there was one thing that I always used to keep thinking of, which also went back to our IRMA days, and to our, Amul and the entire story, that eventually for every 100 rupees that we spend as consumers, the farmer still ends up getting only 25-30 rupees.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thought process which was going on the one side. The other, as consumers, when COVID happened, all of us became much more aware about what we eat and what we consume, and increasingly I started feeling that here is a scenario where everybody everywhere in the world is thinking about health. Unfortunately, most of the food products that are available in the market are not so much oriented towards offering a better health proposition. It's mostly products that are meeting a particular price point and suiting the convenience of supply chains and managing the stakeholders of companies and optimizing operations. So you don't get necessarily a good, tasty, healthy food product. You get an optimum food product. So one was the professional experience background of seeing that out of every 100 rupees, only 30 rupees goes to the farmer. On the other side, people have now started thinking of health in a very big way. And that was also around the time, because at that point in time, I was working in Yes Bank. We were also seeing a lot of government activity around creating infrastructure in rural areas. A lot of farmer producer companies were coming up. A lot of strengthening of infrastructure for processing, packaging in rural areas was coming up. So the thought process started. Of course, I never imagined and thought I would do this as my own company, but this thought process of that something like this should be there, where consumers get healthy and good food products directly from farmers across India. And if there are FPCs and food processing infrastructure capabilities on ground, they can be monetized and some kind of a model can be created. So that thought just came up, and slowly over the next 2.5 years, it then came to a point where you then start feeling so strongly about something that you say, no, forget everything else, let's test this out and let's get into this full time. And by that
Mhm.
time, it's also important that when you get into entrepreneurship, of course a lot of people get into entrepreneurship at a very early stage. It's very rare or unlikely that people in their mid or late 40s get into entrepreneurship. There are examples, but fewer than younger ones.
So that's model very common in Western world, not in India.
Not in India, quite
Yeah.
unlike in India. So at that was also a time when with the grace of God, touch wood, you are settled in terms of your financial position. You're seeing your kids are settling down, going to college. You are also now looking at your own life as to, okay, you have done this, now what next? What after 5 years? What after 10 years? What after 20 years? The hierarchies in organizations start getting start converging. The pyramid syndrome starts coming in. तो वो सब चीजें भी चलती रहती हैं back of the mind, और साथ में ये भी जब दिख रहा था. And that's around the time then, about 2 years back, that I decided that let's take this plunge.
Mhm. I think you have talked about the genesis of the idea. So let's talk about the I mean what was the basic, what was the model of this KisaanSay? Because I mean uh, you've thought about it, but then execution requires a very different type of thinking. So what actually went into when you build this model? So what is the model? Can you elaborate more on this?
Sure. I'll just share my screen as well. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I think it's
Perfect. So, KisaanSay is essentially India's first direct from origin grocery brand. You want the best walnuts, you'll get them from Kashmir. You want the best cardamom, you'll get it from Idukki, Kerala. You want the best jeera, it will come from Patan, Gujarat. You want the best rajma, it will come from the Himalayan ranges. And all of these products are grown, processed, and packed at source. So that's the basic brand promise of KisaanSay, and we have a full range of categories of products. Each of these products is grown, aggregated by farmer groups, FPCs, processed, packaged at source. So that's the basic promise of KisaanSay, and the model is essentially, we call it the 3C model, which is co-curate, co-brand, co-profit. Co-curate का मतलब है that any product that we come up with will be developed in terms of the content, formulation, packaging, using the professional knowledge of us as professionals, because we worked in the industry, and also leveraging the traditional wisdom of farmers in terms of their knowledge around products, how they are grown, how they are processed, how they need to be packaged. If there is a recipe to be made by combining three or four or five ingredients, getting to the traditional aspect of it and combining it with the operational food technology, product process standardization aspects, etc. So it's like a co-curation model where we as professionals at KisaanSay work actively with farmer groups all across India. Then there is this element of what we call co-brand. Co-brand essentially means every product of KisaanSay will not just carry the logo of KisaanSay. You will also find a pin. The pin essentially is a marker of the place of origin of that particular product, and the pin will point to the logo of the specific farmer groups. So each product coming from a particular place will also have a story around why it is special and how it is special since it's coming from that particular place. So co-curate, co-brand, and co-profit. Co-profit is essentially around saying that whatever are the direct costs associated with selling that product, making that product. So all the marketing is done by KisaanSay. All the product supply chain is handled by the farmer groups. So whatever are the direct costs incurred in making the product and distributing and marketing the product, after netting off all those costs, whatever remains as your kitty is also shared with the farmer groups. So co-curate, co-brand, co-profit. And then there is an operating framework where there are different activities involved in terms of compliances, product standardization, marketing, tech. So each of us as partners, as KisaanSay and the respective farmer groups have a respective roles to play there. And the eventual objective is the farmer groups know how to make a good product. We will help you to make it better than what you would otherwise do. You may have an infrastructure and facility. We will help you with nutrition standards, product process standardization, packaging, labeling, quality control, hand holding. You make those products, we will sell them, we will distribute them, we will market them, we will promote them, and whatever money we make out of this, we will share as a in equal ratio at the end of it all. So that's the basic essence of the model of KisaanSay. So that's how we conceptualize this, and then of course started adding more farmer groups, started adding more categories, started adding more channels, and now it's a little over a year and a half since we started.
So I think that's a very, very good explanation about what the model is all about. But I think, I mean, everything is in detail. When we say that, I mean, the ideas are great, but what
Devil
about
is
the
in the detail.
execution? Devil is in the detail. So
Correct.
how did you go about implementing the KisaanSay idea? I mean, can you speak about your initial days after you firm up the idea? How it all went? How do you go about executing the idea? Who all supported in this idea? How did it all pan out?
Right. So it all starts with creating trust with consumers, creating trust with farmers, because consumers are the ones who are going to buy your product, your customers, and farmers are the ones who are your supply chain partners. This is more like a joint venture of sorts where there is a marketing company, KisaanSay, and a farmer producer company, and like that, a lot of farmer producer companies all over India, and both coming together to execute this model. So creating trust with consumers, creating trust with farmers. Creating trust with farmers is the more difficult one, because what has happened over the years is a lot of companies, lot of corporates, lot of people from the cities have gone to rural areas, either made false promises or made promises but not delivered on them. So generally, farmers are very mistrustful of educated, people coming from the cities and telling them some new idea, some new thought, or sharing a new concept. So our basic model was around co-curate, co-brand, co-profit, and we said that if we are a food FMCG company, if we are a D2C brand, eventually when we sell products in the market, there is going to be a working capital involved. Working capital typically is 15 days, 20 days, 30 days, depending on the channels that you choose and the mix of channels that you choose. And you will also need to keep some buffer inventory with you, right? And we said this itself is going to be, say, 30 days plus 30 days, 60 days. If we go the traditional FMCG route, which is about getting your raw material, getting your packaging material, converting it, bringing it to the finished goods to your warehouse, then distributing, marketing, selling, the cycle is going to be 4 to 5 months. So more than half of our capital as the company KisaanSay is going to go into blocking your money in working capital itself. So can we think of a creative model where if we make farmers our partners, we tell them that, hey, you give us the finished products, you take care of the raw material, you take care of the inventory, you take care of the packing material, conversion, labor, you manage your factory. We won't put a single penny to to run a factory or to start a factory or open a factory. You do all of it. We will guide you on this entire process and this entire journey. But whatever money we make after selling, we are going to be distributing a significant portion of this as a profit share with you. So will you give us a 30-day credit? You give the finished product to us, we need 30 plus 30 days, 60 days. So out of 60 days you take, because we are sharing the profits 50-50, let us also share our working capital 50-50. So आप हमें बेसिकली मोटी भाषा में ये बोलना था कि आप हमको 30 दिन का उधार दो. So telling a farmer in India to give you udhar, he will say, you just get lost and go away. You first give me the money, then I'll give you the material.
Yeah, because they have been cheated by so many.
Because they have been cheated by so many people. So getting to a point where you're able to convince them to make them come to a point where they trust you, that okay, we understand your model, let's get started with this. Once a few cycles happen, 2 times, 3 times, 4 times, over a quarter or 2 quarters, once payment starts coming in properly, once you start giving what you are claiming as your profit share, etc., every quarter on time, once all that happens, we are going to be partners then in the long term. So the first challenge of convincing farmers was a very big challenge. So this literally involved physically to travel to each of these places, whether it was Jammu Kashmir, whether it was Kerala, whether it was Gujarat, going to each of these people, spending multiple meetings and times with them and their communities, convincing them that there is a model like this which is going to be good for you in the long run. You will earn a better livelihood. Your brand, your logo, your story will go to supermarkets and online channels in India and all over the place, etc., etc. So, that took a lot of time. It took almost 3 4 months, 5 months to actually go through a drill of convincing them to come into this model. And then the second challenge was obviously about consumers. So in the initial days, we were three of us co-founders, myself, Vaishali, Manoj. So for the first 3 4 5 months, we did nothing but we would go to a lot of events in shopping complexes, housing societies, malls, corporates, and we would just set up a small single double table setup and put our initial assortment of products, and we would literally face to face, eye to eye, sell these products. So वो थोड़ा unnerving भी था, because all of us had spent 20 25 years in the industry. We were in roles and positions
And senior leadership
at
position.
senior leadership roles where we had an army of people who were doing all this. Maybe we had done something like this in 2000 2001, 25 साल पहले हमने किया था. But to shed your ego and to let go of whatever you have achieved all these years, and to again literally become a salesman on the street. So I still remember when the first time we went with our products, this was to an event called World Food India. This was in November 2023. And at that time, this event just happened out of a fluke. We were never planning to start in November, December. Our plan was to start by Feb, March 2024. तो वहाँ गए, तो वहाँ लिटरली जब द फर्स्ट 1 or 2 hours जब खड़े हुए, तो एक वो फीलिंग आती है आप में कि यहाँ सब वो लोग घूम रहे हैं जो आपको 20 25 साल से जानते हैं. And all these guys are CEOs and people, and they've seen you in a suited booted way and walking with an army of people, and today you're standing here as a nobody, as a salesman, in a way, that's how you think कि भाई ऐसा लोग सोचेंगे. But fortunately, जो लोगों का प्यार मिला, जो the kind of reciprocation love that we got for the kind of products that we were doing, a lot of CEOs, a lot of companies appreciated us so much. A lot of multinationals, a lot of large corporates, a lot of big FMCG companies of India, they stopped at our stall, spent 15 20 minutes each. So that then completely, that gave us a lot of confidence. And then going to all of these events and all these places and physically, literally explaining the brand story to our customers, telling them how our products are different, telling how our rajma is different, how our rice is different, how our walnuts are different, why they are tastier, why they are healthier, why they are a little more expensive, why do you have to pay a 30 40% premium versus a regular product. So so this process of convincing and building trust with consumers and convincing and building trust with farmers, to my mind, was the most critical aspect of starting this entire journey.
Okay, great. So, you must, you talked some of it, and some of it, you talked about one challenge. But there have been probably many
Of
other
course.
challenges also.
Of course.
So, so this is about setting up. Did you face a challenge from customers also who talked about that it's an expensive product, so why should we buy something like that? Because
Correct.
your effort went into setting up with the farmers, but what about
Correct.
customers? That's totally unseen side.
So in a single line, the single biggest learning was, if you have a strong value proposition, if you have a strong product differentiation, there are people out there who are ready to pay a premium. How much they will pay, how many will pay, of course, you need to figure out. But if you have a differentiated product, if you say that your rajma does not need overnight soaking versus regular rajmas, if you say your rajma will cook in half an hour in 5 whistles versus 10 whistles and 1 hour, if you say your rajma will be consistently cooking versus regular rajmas and it won't make you feel bloated after eating, if you're able to convince, demonstrate, people will be ready to pay a premium. If you say our rice has got a glycemic index which is less than regular rice or basmati rice, it won't spike up your sugar, your rice is aromatic as well as tasty, your rice has more protein versus other rice, it will help you, it is good for you from a taste experience point of view. At the same time, it is also healthy for you. So if you are able to demonstrate that, and for that, of course, you need to do a lot of, initially when we used to do these selling in events, we used to do a lot of sampling. where we would literally cook these products. Some of them you can do dry sampling, like dry fruits. We would just sample them just like that. But a lot of our millet-based products, a lot of our rice, rajma, and other things, we would literally let people eat these products, experience these products themselves firsthand. So if you're able to convince that, first of all, create that at a brand level, that differentiation proposition, communicate that effectively. If you're able to do that, there are people out there who are ready to pay you a premium. So that has
So
been the biggest learning, and not necessarily that you will only go to a SEC A or Tier 1. People in Tier 2, Tier 3 cities, and even SEC B are ready to pay a premium.
this is marketing 101. This is what we teach in marketing, basics of marketing.
Correct. Basics of
And this is
marketing,
what most
and
people don't get it right.
correct. And we thought, a lot of people said, "Arey, ye to nahi chalega. People won't pay a premium. How will you differentiate? How will you communicate? How will repeats happen? You should do a market research. Go to AC Nielsen. Go to this, that." मैंने कहा वो कोई ज़रूरत नहीं है. Between us, the three founders, and we had two other people in our team, we must have met at least 10 to 15,000 consumers one on one in 4 or 5 months. वो 10-15 हजार कस्टमर्स से जो आपने वन ऑन वन एंगेज किया, उससे बड़ा मार्केट रिसर्च तो कुछ हो ही नहीं सकता है. And
So
then
what?
when you engage with when you engage
Yeah.
with consumers, you talk everything. Price point भी बात करोगे, product proposition भी बात करोगे, availability भी बात करोगे. So it's a wealth of information to engage one on one with your consumers, spend time with them, be at the stores, be at events, engage with them, talk to them, let them experience your products. If they have complaints, let them come to you. Initially, even on our toll free number and customer number, we only used to man and listen to all the complaints, very
Yeah.
patiently addressing them, or if there was an error or a mistake on our part, correcting them, etc., etc. So a lot of patience, lot of shedding aside of your ego, lot of unlearning, lot of relearning. But that is a very joyful experience, once
Right.
you come through it.
So let's talk about what is the current status of KisaanSay. I mean, let's talk in terms of products or retail and geography coverage and number of customers that you're reaching out.
So we have over 50,000 customers. We started with offline retail only in Gurgaon. Slowly, we also then started out sometime around October, November last time. We also started on Amazon and our own web store. It's been about 7-8 months now. We do almost 500, 600 orders every day online. Offline continues in Gurgaon. We've also recently gone into quick commerce, started with Delhi, NCR, and Mumbai. Slowly, we will also be getting into Bangalore, Hyderabad, and other cities. And so that is on the distribution side, and we have an omni-channel approach where we will do general trade, modern trade, marketplaces, our own D2C, quick commerce. On the other side, in terms of our product portfolio, we have almost 10 categories. We are into dry fruits, pulses, millets, rice, oil, ghee, a couple of categories. Under each category, wherever we see traction, we also then vertically go into expanding the range. For example, rice, we saw a very good traction in the early days because we could see that all the mainstream brands are focused on the basmati segment, and there is no food brand in India which is offering you all the traditional ethnic Indian rice varieties under one banner. And most of these rice varieties by default happen to be also healthier than the basmati or regular rice. They'll be low in glycemic index, high in protein, low on carbs, etc., easy to digest, etc. So once we discovered that, once we saw the traction coming, then we started with one variant, Gorakhpur Kala Namak Chawal. Then we went to Maharashtra Indrayani rice, then the Koraput Kala Jeera rice. So every state in India has got so many good rice varieties. So building a structure system around that where you standardize the product, neatly, nicely package the product, set up a distribution channel to market and sell them. So like that, getting vertically then into categories, identifying your hero categories, which also happens by trial and error, and then understanding that, okay, say for dry fruits or rice or XYZ category, you're seeing fair amount of traction. The kind of differentiation that you are creating is more palpable and getting more responsiveness for so and so category, so and so products. Then you start getting more and more into those. So it's about your distribution, expanding your distribution, and focusing on your hero categories, and then doing your strategies around them.
So in terms of impact, I mean, would you like to talk something about the impact?
In terms
What
of impact,
impact?
it is, yes, touch wood, it is huge because already 50,000 plus consumers in India, 50,000 plus farmers in India are benefiting because we call ourselves as a company that is helping both consumers to have tastier and healthier food options, and at the same time also enabling farmers in India to earn better livelihoods. So
Okay.
it is both a business proposition and at the same time also a noble cause that you are working for, because helping a society to become healthy and helping an entire farming community to become more prosperous is in itself a very big social initiative of sorts. And if you look at all the parameters like SDGs, UN Sustainable Development Goals, or otherwise, I think on most of the criteria we will fulfill more than 90% of their norms and criteria.
Okay. So I think we are coming towards the end. So I think I'll just pose my last question, and then we'll have some comments which are there on the comment section. So
Sure.
I mean, I would just like to link what your KisaanSay venture with your IRMA experience. I mean, we all know. I mean, we all have heard about IRMA, and IRMAns share a very strong bond. I mean,
Correct.
there are so many stories about IRMAns helping each other in their personal crisis times, and I mean, how can we think of leveraging this community bond during entrepreneurial journey of IRMANs? More specifically, how can IRMANs as a larger community can connect with you in your journey of KisaanSay? Have you benefited? And probably you would like to share some of those stories, and maybe in future, if somebody has to do, how can one join hands with you?
Sure. So Irmans have been very helpful, very supportive, right from you, Abhishek, to a lot of my batchmates, to a lot of other people. A lot of you have actually put in your hard-earned money into this company as well. Many Irmans, senior Irmans, have been angel investors in KisaanSay. So that itself is the proof of the pudding as a starting point. Uh, a lot of collaboration opportunities further because IRMA is the only institute, and that was what Dr. Kurian created this, with this intent, the only institute of its kind where you have people who are able to appreciate and understand both the developmental social aspects of society, of rural development, and at the same time also you are tuned to the professional aspects of running businesses and enterprises. So IRMA has a fantastic mix of skill sets, spanning both these kinds of organizations and both these types of enterprises. So the entire development sector has been struggling for the last many years, where a lot of NGOs and a lot of not-for-profits have been building a lot of FPCs. A lot of people have created some very good infrastructure. A lot of FPCs are also there institutionally, but after all the hard work and after all the incentives and grants and everything, most of these FPCs are still not able to sell their products remuneratively in the market. They don't understand branding, marketing, distribution, sales. So that in itself is one very big collaboration opportunity. Wherever there are IRMANs working in the government, whether it is the state rural livelihood missions, Ministry of Rural Development, Ministry of Agriculture, NABARD, or the the non-state institutions, the foundations, the CSRs, all of these people have this unique opportunity where we can partner them, complement what they are already doing on ground, and taking these farmer producer companies and groups who are already doing some fantastic work on ground to take them to the markets. Similarly, there is a whole bunch of expertise sitting professionally within the IRMA ecosystem. A lot of people in the market research space, a lot of people doing good work in the branding space, a lot of people who are experts in FMCG distribution, social media, content creation. So I think with so much of diversity of skill sets and the kind of organizations that IRMANs typically work with and engage with, I think there is a fantastic opportunity where each of you have, as IRMANs, if you would maybe for some time you've gone away from what was the intent of actually going to IRMA, if you've strayed and gone on a different path, as Dr. Kurian told us as well, here is an opportunity that through KisaanSay you can reignite that fire and you can start giving back to IRMA through KisaanSay.
So it's an open job offer, right?
It could be a job, it could be a partnership, it could be a consulting, it could be advice, it could be different forms.
Yeah, whichever way you can support.
Absolutely.
Okay, great. So I think let's also spend some time on some of the comments which have come up in the. I can see some of the comments in chat box. I think
Surely.
Ritesh Chaturvedi has mentioned about that. He said that have you ever considered exploring niche export markets, particularly for products that are natural and free from artificial ingredients? While this may not align with the local consumption philosophy, there seems to be a growing global demand for authentic, clean label products. For example, artisanal jaggery, traditional processed pickles, or millet-based snacks without preservatives could find strong traction in health-conscious international market. Have you given this any thought? I think it's a
Yes,
very,
yes.
very, very wonderful idea. I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very, very, very opportune and very well said. So we've already got a lot of feelers, and in fact, we went to Gulf Food, which is the world's largest food event. A lot of interest also came in. A lot of interest from Europe, Southeast Asia, Mid East, US markets. A lot of people are interested in many of our products. So we are indeed looking at this opportunity in a big way. Clean label products, healthy products, so we are starting with our export business, starting with the Middle East, where we are setting up a distribution setup in Dubai to start with. From there, we will then go to the rest of the GCC. And then slowly, we are also in the process of exploring opportunities in Singapore, US, and other markets. We're already talking to a lot of people. If Ritesh can connect us to some good people in Luxembourg, that will be highly appreciated. Europe is also a very big and a very good market. And it is so fascinating because most of these products that we are dealing with are all indigenous traditional food products, many of which have not been commercially taken to markets by mainstream food FMCG companies. A lot of these rice varieties, a lot of these dry fruits, a lot of these products are really very, very unique. And if you can do a nice, neat, clean packaging, labeling, branding, do your storytelling the right way, the market is very, very big and huge, globally for such products. So we are looking at this opportunity, and any help from you, Ritesh, or any of the other people here in the alumni network who can partner us are more than welcome.
I think Ritesh wants to add something. So please go ahead, Ritesh.
Sure.
Thanks, Nitinda. It's first of all, it's amazing. What you are doing. You have combined this aspect of nutritional food from local producers to local. It's amazing. So thank you and thanks for this talk. Secondly, as you said, you are already thinking of and you have participated in to explore markets which are focused on clean labels. And really, even in my neighborhood, uh, which I'm sure you already know, the growing trend is we are kind of not very happy with the big chains, because
Correct.
the products come from thousands of kilometers away.
Correct. Correct.
There are so many artificial ingredients and packing. You make packing so extensive. The cost of packing maybe is more
Correct.
sometimes than
Than the product itself.
yeah. So even in the big supermarkets, we see they started with small shelf, local produce, made in, for example, made in Rajasthan or made in Luxembourg, and slowly it has expanded, and people, especially, are happy to pay a premium because they understand, as you said, the story that most of the money doesn't go to the middleman. In this case, the supermarkets or this. So we can take this discussion offline, and I will be in touch
Absolutely.
with you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Yeah. So I think there's a point which has been made by Devam, and I think that's also a very interesting point that how are you managing the scale of KisaanSay with the quality of the products, considering you work with FPOs and agriculture products, which is not a flexible space. And of course, this question is, I think, also linked with maybe right now your scale is not that big, so maybe you are able to manage that quality. How will you do it once you really become big and as the way you are growing? I think maybe you can also share how you have grown over the years, over last couple of years. And then if that growth is going to continue, then probably how this whole control of quality would also be ensured.
So we have a three-tier system for quality assurance, quality control. Number one, all the units where our processing, packaging happens, there is a full-fledged SOP in place for how to handle the raw material, how to grade and sort the processed product, how to pack the product, what kind of hygiene, food safety compliances are to be followed, what kind of quality tests need to be done from time to time, how the various FSSAI regulatory guidelines also need to be complied with. So there is a full-fledged SOP system in place. Trainings are done, and our team of people, including our food technologists and operations team, regularly visit each of these FPCs to train them and to mentor them and handhold them. So that is the first level. The second level is whenever these batches are manufactured and shipped to us at the FPCs, we have our team on ground that is monitoring these lots when they are being prepared and they are being shipped. So that's the second level of quality control. The third, which is the most effective, is this entire element of co-branding. As I shared with you, on every KisaanSay pack, you see the logo and brand of the respective farmer group. So now this co-branding is a very big social tool to tell the farmer that, hey, this is as much our product as much as it is your product. आपका भी product है, हमारा भी product है. If there is something that goes wrong with this product, if there is some adverse customer feedback, if there is some complaint, some issue, it is your reputation, your name also that is at stake. और गांव में लोगों को शहर के लोगों से थोड़ी ज़्यादा शर्म होती है सोशल मैटर्स पे. किसी की बेइज्जती हो जाए, बदनामी हो जाए, तो दे टेक इट. अदरवाइज शहर में फिर भी लोग अभी भी बेशरम है काफ़ी.
They have a face to show in the community.
So if a truckload of rice or pulses or some product comes back, there will be a lot of people around there saying, यार ये देखो इनका माल वापस आ गया, ये दिक्कत हो गई, वो हो गया. तो एक peer social pressure होता है. And of course they also at heart want this product to do well. It is helping them to earn a better livelihood, helping them to earn a better income. It is giving them this respect and this visibility. Till they started working with KisaanSay, they were all nameless and faceless. Now their name, their brand's name, their behind the pack, there is a full description of that of that FPC, about the product, about the farmers. There is a QR code through which consumers can engage and find so much more about the product and the stories behind them. So farmers very strongly feel, and the FPCs very strongly feel, that this is their product, and they need to go out of the way to ensure that nothing goes wrong with these products in terms of packaging or quality. So this, discrete social pressure also is a very big, game changer for us in terms of our supply chain, maintaining our quality, etc., etc. Of course, you need to have your systems, SOPs, quality monitoring, QA/QC in place, but this also helps in a very big way.
So both are very equally important. So one is the systems in place, and then these norms to
Correct.
strive that it should not go haywire.
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is my last question I want to talk about, and before we wind up, I think Ravinderjit ji has a question. So first, let's take that, and we have time for, and then I'll ask this question. Otherwise, we'll go ahead with this.
Okay.
Ravinderjit, please.
Hi, Nitin.
Good to see you, Ji. Thank
Good
you
to
so
see
much.
you, and congratulations. Really inspiring story, man.
Thank you so much.
And Nitin,
Thank you.
whatever you explained just now, we have gone through that.
Anji.
So some of the FPOs we have working with, and they have worked with you guys, and you know
Correct.
help them end to end.
Correct.
They were not able to conceptualize कि कैसे होता है.
Correct.
आपने branding भी बताया, cleaning भी बताया, sorting भी बताया, and the wonderful brand they have. They are case studies in itself.
Thank you so much.
And you
Thank
remember
so much.
before you ventured into this, you used to tell this is a major hassle.
Correct.
Quality control is the major hassle.
Correct.
अगर वो किसी ने manage कर लिया, that will be done. So amazing,
Correct.
wonderful, and look forward to
Thank you, Ji.
engaging
Thank you
and
so much.
working.
Thank you so much.
Take care.
Highly
All
appreciate.
the best. All the best. Yeah.
Thanks for your love and support.
Thank you.
So I think I'll pose this question. I still have a couple of minutes left, so I'll pose this question.
Sure.
So Nitin, I would like to place your venture into larger picture of India. I mean, what India is doing right now. Because we have been talking about all this concept of made in India, Vision 2047, where we are talking about a 30 trillion economy in the next around 25 odd years. So what role do you see for enterprises like KisaanSay in this journey?
So KisaanSay can play a big role, because see, this is just the starting point. Food is the segment that we have started with. Our entire brand promises, we will get you as a consumer, you will get products, authentic products directly from source all over India. The farmer, as a result of this, is going to do a lot of value addition, and he's net of all the additional costs that they incur, they are also going to make an additional income. Now, like this, for authentic products, food is not the only domain. Think of handicraft, think of clothing, think of utensils, think of toys. There is so much wealth of traditional craft and traditional wisdom around various products in India, ecotourism, so many things that can be done around authenticity, because there are very few platforms or very few places where you can find authentic products or services coming directly from source. So this entire proposition of being able to, for consumers to be able to get access to an authentic experience, whether it's a product or a service, and building an entire marketing structure, experience structure to help people to experience that, and as a result of that, the multiplier impact that it can create on the GDP of rural India, that is
Okay.
huge. है ना? So, given that, and of course, for a long time now, irrespective of this migration that is happening from rural areas to urban areas, for a long time, for at least a generation more, rural India will continue to have a huge population, and they need to be gainfully employed, and they need to earn better livelihoods. So,
Yeah.
models like KisaanSay will have a big role in transforming rural economies, helping them to go for value addition, helping them for better livelihoods, and at the same time also catering to the huge market. India is a huge market in itself. A lot of people now, I'll give you a simple live example. A lot of our customers, consumers, keep coming back to us with requests that your walnut from Kashmir, or your cardamom from Idukki, Kerala, or your jeera from Patan is very nice. I also want to spend a day or 2 days or one night, 2 nights in that particular village or community from where your products come. So on a trial basis, we put up some of these farmer groups' houses. We deck them up with some basic infrastructure, a basic light and a, geyser and a nice washroom, etc., and just put up some of their pictures on Airbnb as homestays. And they started getting a lot of inquiries. Many of our customers from KisaanSay also booked them. Many other people, a lot of foreigners started booking. So once people get this promise that this is an authentic experience, an authentic product, and not too many mainstream corporate or large companies have created these authentic experiences of Indian food products and services emanating from rural areas in India. So that's a big opportunity. So doing a lot more value addition, enhancing rural livelihoods, and creating a proposition where farmers are able to earn better livelihoods and income, staying in their villages without necessarily migrating to urban areas, can be a big change maker in the long term. तो विकसित भारत विकसित तब होगा जब गांव विकसित होगा, नहीं तो नहीं हो पाएगा.
Okay.
Otherwise, that will become the bottleneck.
I see that you are moving from what we call as a vertical e-commerce model, e-retail model, to a horizontal e-retail
Slowly.
model.
Slowly.
And in the long run, you will not just be e-retail, you will become an e-commerce firm, right? And
That as
that's your
well.
business. That's your business model. I mean,
Correct.
and of course, in this process, the whole thing of ensuring that while you serve the customer, you also continue to provide benefit from on the lines very similar to what Dr. Kurian has envisaged. That continues.
Absolutely. Vision वही है, Dr. Kurian का ही है.
So that's what he used to say, na, that you are all going
Absolutely.
to be, when we were students, he
Correct.
used to say that you all are our princes.
Correct.
Prince and princess who are going to hold
Princesses.
after I'm gone. So
Correct.
I think
Correct.
that's wonderful to
Absolutely.
hear that.
उसी
So
उसी भाव के साथ, उसी फीलिंग और उसी इमोशन और भाव के साथ लगे हुए हैं.
बिल्कुल. So I think that's wonderful to hear, and I think I had a very, very good time talking to you about your initiative. I think we are almost, I think we are already overshot the time, but I think it's okay, just a couple of minutes more. So I'll give it back to the organizers. So Devam, over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Abhishek sir. Thank you, Nitin sir. A few terms, which I can say after this meeting is passion, care, marketing, development, IRMA, insightful, wise, and it's a culmination of all this word.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Yes, sir. This hearing all this makes us a proud IRMAn. modesty, authentic. Thank
Thanks
you
so
for
much.
being so authentic, sir. Thank you for being so wise. It's been an honor listening to you both. And thank you to all the audiences for staying with us. Hoping we'll spread the message that whatever we discuss today goes far beyond the IRMAn boundaries, and help us everyone elevate. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
everyone, sir.
Thank you.
Now we can take the lead from this meeting.
Thank you. And thanks so
Thank
much,
you.
Abhishek. Very, very well anchored. Thanks so much, Abhishek.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Abhishek.
Bye-bye. Bye.
You all.
Bye-bye.